It is a scorcher out here, 103 degrees, and it is only, well, my phone will go back onto it, 14:17. But, good day anyway. I caught 7 fish, a little over 10 pounds, so they were all smallies, but one big one that I actually want to take you with me real quick and release. Since I didn't get video of me fishing all day, so gotta prove it somehow, right? So come on. Ugh. Where you at, number 2? There you are. Come here, girl. Very nice. Caught her at 8 o'clock this morning. Very nice fish. Well, let's let her go and see. Let's get back to the video. Alright, and we're back. Let the big one go. But now, I took a poll and I put it up on my channel. And I asked what you guys wanted for the next video feed. And what we got, plus word of mouth and other messages, was you want to see the gear. So, after talking to a few people, what I thought was best to do on the gear-wise things was to show you what I use daily when I go out fishing. So, we'll start off with what I have ready on the boat at all times, and then we'll move into what I have for backup if there's a place that I didn't expect. So to start off, what I fish with to start off every morning is an F Extreme series carbon rod, heavy 7'2", 55-pound braid, and of course, can't go without your topwater spook. Now, this is a huge confidence bait for me because I've been using it on pretty much every lake since my first time fishing at Lake of the Ozarks. Lake of the Ozarks, it was the only thing they'd hit on, and so from then on, it just kind of been one of those baits that stayed on the top of the boat, and it's never really done me wrong. So I kind of stick with it as much as possible and try not to steer too far from it. I might go to whopper plopper here and there. Speaking of which, if I am going to switch it up, I'm going to go with something like this, but I'm also going to switch up rods. Which is right here, which is my Abu Garcia, which I also use for my Texas rig. So, because we're working that way anyway, I always keep the Abu Garcia Max Pro. Now, this rod is not mine. This is my girlfriend's rod. But because it's in my boat, I can use it. So, right now I have this tied up with a Texas rig and some kind of creature bait, especially for Florida Lake. You really need it around this time of the year when it's really hot to get up underneath those bushes and trees. Usually I'll be braid to fluorocarbon or mono, but right now, because I broke it off so many times, I just didn't feel like retying it. So I just went straight braid and it worked good enough to catch me plenty of fish. Now, if that's not working, I switch to my bread and butter and my favorite confidence rod of all time. That is the Shimano SLX paired up with the Shimano Celis. And I love the way this rod feels for anything topwater, soft plastic jerk baits, or weightless Texas rigs, or even wacky rigs if I'm in a pinch and my spinning gear is jacked up. Now this one particularly is a 6'8" medium heavy. I like it because it's literally your do-all rod. It's small enough in my hand that it just fits right. That, for me, is the make or break for any rod that I have. If it's not comfortable in my hand, I don't want to use it. And you'll find me not using it that much, even if it's an amazing high-end rod. If I'm going to fish with something all day, every day, it needs to fit my hand well, and it needs to be comfortable. With that being said, let's move on to something that is also very comfortable. That, and I hate the fact that this happens, but god dang it, his name is slipping my mind. But this rod was given to me at the Touring Anglers Association's tournament. And right now I'm drawing a blank on your name because honestly I suck at names, so no disrespect. But I will tag you down in the description of this because I'm going to have to look it up again because I'm an idiot. But this was given to me after one of my spells on the water at during the Touring Anglers Association's tournament at Lake Lanier, Georgia. One of my rods broke that was actually a bait caster, but I was using it for finesse and it broke, which I think it's hilarious that he gave me a finesse rod in replace of the finesse rod, and it was the rod, it was the reel that I was looking for and looking at 2 days prior to that. So I thought that was really awesome. And this is the Lew's, the T1 200, and I really like the way it feels, really casts well. And this is the EMA Jewel, and I can never remember the length on this one. 7 foot medium heavy, and this is just light in my hand. I can swing it around all day and just relax with this rod. And this is the rod that I actually really mastered skipping lures with. And this is one that no matter what, I got a wacky rig or a drop shot tied on it. Doesn't matter. This is my wacky rig, drop shot rig. Doesn't matter. It's on this one, day in and day out. And if this one ever gives out on me, I will buy another one, and this one will be hung up on the wall with this exact rod and reel combination. Because I love it. It feels well. Maybe it's just personal preference, but it fits me perfectly, and I will always have one of these on my boat. Now, last and not least, for my standard loadout that I have on the deck every time I go to the lake is some type of jig setup. Now, I like jigs, but I don't use them as much as I use the rest of these. But there are those opportunities where if I'm at a smallmouth fishery, I'm gonna want something like this. And this is the Johnny Morris Carbon Light 2.0. Of course, 6'9", medium heavy, and with the matching reel, Carbon Light 2.0. This is the older style. This one's been beat up and slapped around and beat all to crap a lot since I've had it, but it somehow survived. So I'm lucky and hoping that I don't have to ever trade this in to get another one because it's just held up so well. And speaking of which, on that one, I was trying a new jig today, and I don't know how I feel about it because it didn't quite come out. It didn't pan out or anything. If anything, it chipped out. But I wanted to try it out. I've tried it on other lakes and still haven't gotten a hit on it. I don't know if it's what I'm doing or something else, but this is the Faith Baits headache jig. Now, I really wanted to give this one a shot because I really like the idea of a wacky rig inside my jig. I really love that idea. But so far it hasn't done me any good, but I'll keep it tied on until I get a hit on it. And I figure out what it's doing. Until then, we'll just sit here and pissingly continue to hope that I can figure out best spots for them, or just go to a smallmouth fishery and force it to work at some point. So, either or. Alright. Now my backup. Now, I've got two favorite rods in here, and I'm not even going to really struggle pulling them out. But these are rods I use when I need to, or in special conditions. My two favorite rods I usually use when I'm going around boat docks, stuff like that, so like Lake of the Ozarks and other things. This Johnny Morris Patriot is another one of my finesse setups if I'm going a bit heavier on the drop shots, like a heavy drop shot or a really heavy wacky rig. I'm going with this. Same thing with the Guggen Squad, the Gold Series, I think. Can't remember the name. And then this is another one of Lauren's that I don't ever use, so I can't give you much information on it. And then Xfinity Speed Stick with the Abu Garcia reel. And then another Abu Garcia reel on a Shields EBI sus. Basically, about to say, there's so many names, and to be honest with you, I haven't memorized all of them because I got so many. So it's just a headache to try to memorize everything. But that's my setup. Stay straight. But yeah, that's my setup. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's much, but I know there's people out there who can't afford to have this many rods, especially some of them being in their $300+ dollars. So I get that. And on that, if you don't like the way that these rods feel, don't think that you need to buy higher end gear. You can buy a rod at Walmart and it be a perfect fit for you. This one, I bought it, this stick right here is my favorite one, and I got it at Dunham's. And it was one of the cheaper ones, like 30, 40 bucks or something. I know the guys like Matt Allen and Tim Little at Tactical Basset, they talk about higher end being for those higher fish, and that I agree with that 100%. But if you're just going to go out and fishing, you don't need some super high quality special $1,000 combo. You really don't. You can come out here with a cheap $50 combo that you find at the store somewhere and make it happen. You really can. But set spot lock here. But anyway, I'm rambling on. But that's my setup. And I guess that'll end the video. We'll put up a poll next week. Thank you all who commented on the poll. Thank you everyone who has been showing support up till now. And I'll see what we got in the next one. I'll talk to you later.